Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Young here, and today I'm back in our Fortnite video, and in today's video I'm going to be giving you guys some tips and tricks on how to kill multiple people here in Fortnite. I'm going to be talking for the situations in, solo versus duos, solo versus squads, or maybe even your teammate goes down, you have to clutch up against multiple players. I'm going to be covering everything in this video when it comes to killing multiple people here in Fortnite. And before we get into the video, I have a V-Buck giveaway. If you guys want a chance to win some free V-Bucks, all you guys have to do is to drop a like on the video. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel and also subscribe to my second channel. The link for that will be in the description or the pinned comment. Turn on my post notifications and as well comment down below your Xbox gamer tag, your PSN gamer tag, or Epic account. And as well, if you guys would like to support me in the item shop, all you guys have to do is go over to the item shop, go down to support a creator, type in my code is Young Humor, and you guys will have me added and supported as a creator. I really do appreciate all you guys who do add me. And alright guys, let's go right to the video. Alright, so I wanted to be talking about how to kill multiple people here in Fortnite, and the main reason why I want to be talking about this, because this really does apply for those of you guys who play a lot of duos or a lot of squads. And I feel like the majority of you guys play those game modes. So when you're playing squads or playing duos, eventually some of your teammates are going to go down and you're going to have to clutch up against multiple players. It pretty much happens just about every other game to once every 3 games. Your teammates are going to go down and then you're going to have to clutch it up all by yourself against multiple players, and hopefully the players you're going against are going to be a little bit weak. Your teammates got some shots on them, but sometimes they aren't, and you have to fight a full team, and it's even bad when it's like a 1v4 because that makes it very, very difficult. And there is a few things that I do every single time that I'll get into, but when it comes to like 1v1s and 1v2s, they are a lot easier than if it's like a solo squad type of thing, because there's going to be so many different people shooting at you. But I really wanted to be talking about in this video because I think it's really important, because it's something I haven't talked about in a while. Because when it comes to fighting multiple players in Fortnite, it's extremely important, especially when your teammates go down and you need to clutch up and get the reboot cards, or whatever the case may be. Maybe it could be the last team in the game and you have to clutch it up. And so after the next fight, I wanted to be talking through this 1v4 that I had. It was a crazy fight. It lasted probably like 3 or 4 minutes. I was just going back and forth with this full team, and you guys are about to see this. And I want to talk about exactly what I did going into this fight, because I didn't do everything perfectly. I did make a few mistakes, which definitely could have cost me, but overall, I played it pretty well. So I went up here and I looked over. I saw a full team in front of me. I was able to get a knock right off the start, but the thing is, I wasn't able to get the finish. That's kind of where I messed up. I wish I could have got the finish on that player, because what happens is, especially if you're like a 1v3 or 1v4, if you get a knock on a player that you can't thirst immediately, you can't finish them off, what's going to happen is you're going to get shot from like 1 or 2 other people, and then one of the players is going to be able to revive them, and there's nothing you can do. So if you're not able to get the finish on that player, 9 times out of 10, they're going to get the revive if you're not able to finish them there, because you're going to have one guy box around them and try to protect them from getting shot at, and then they're going to try to revive them while you have a player who just constantly sprays at you, so there's nothing you can do. So here I make a really quick push to the player I was fighting right in front of me, and unfortunately he was able to get the trap off. But a lot of times, if you are quick enough, I did mess up. I wasn't as quick as I should have, but if you are quick enough, a lot of times you can easily dodge a trap that they place in the box. And one thing to consider if you do jump in someone's box is to look at the walls that are surrounding it. If they're surrounded by brick or metal, it's probably going to be a bad idea, because no matter what, if they place one of the traps, you have to be on the opposite side, because there's no way you can break like a metal or a brick wall very fast enough for it to not hit you. So that's one thing to consider if you ever dropping into someone's box. If they are building out of wood, which most of the players are running into are going to be building out of wood, then you can very easily W key if you want to, because you don't have to worry about having to shoot down brick or metal walls. So that's one thing to consider if you ever want to push a player, because sometimes during the fight you have to play aggressive, and this is just something you have to do. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult to go for a clutch, because when you're in the fight going against these other players, you have to play very fast, and there's going to be certain points where you have to go for elimination on a player. So in a 1v4, eventually you have to be able to get an elimination on a player. Otherwise, it's just going to be nearly impossible to try to shoot at 4 people at the exact same time. So the best thing that can happen is you definitely want to play for that first elimination every single time you're going against multiple players. So once you play for that first elimination, or not even the first elimination, that first knock, once you get the first knock on the player, I would say the first thing to do next is try to get the finish on the player, and if you can't, maybe try to look to get shots on other players, and maybe use as an opportunity to get off your heels, or whatever the case may be. But the second you get a knock on one of the players, you definitely have to make a big play after that, whether it's a finish, get your heels off, or do something that you have to do. Maybe you just want to run away. Whatever the case may be, you definitely have to make a play very quickly. Otherwise, you're just going to get screwed over. And even though you did get the knock on that, because even in this fight right here, you're going to see pretty much all of them got revived because I wasn't fast enough to finish them after I knocked them. So I pretty much had to kill the entire team twice, and I had to drop like 8 or 9 people just to kill everyone off, which is pretty crazy that I wasn't able to just win a 1v4. I had to basically win a 1v8 against these players. It was kind of insane. But at this point, there's one player left, but I know there's two other players knocked, and I for sure don't want to have them revived again. So I was able to find smoke grenades, and I smoked one of the players. The other player crawled inside. It was going to be right in front of me, right inside that wall. There's going to be a player going for a revive, and luckily I was able to get the kill on that player. I was trying to heavy sniper the wall and then kind of going through that way, which would have been a lot smarter, but I wasn't able to get my heavy sniper off, and I didn't want the other player to revive his teammate in time, so that's why I went for the play I did. I said, screw it, I'm just going to jump around the corner and go for the shot. Probably been a little bit smarter to wait off, but sometimes you have the players that stop reviving their teammate and they kind of want to peek around the corner, and then you have some people who just no matter what are going to stick the revive, and I didn't want to risk having that player revive because it's going to be annoying, another annoying fight where it's going to drag on for very long. So here in this gunfight, it's also another situation. It's not even that your teammates go down. It could be at a position, maybe you're in front of your teammates, and you have to hold off a full team for your teammates to come. And that's exactly what I did. The first thing you have to do is immediately go for high ground no matter what. Even if you're not able to get shots on the other players right away, you have to get high ground, especially if you're going against like a 1v3. Or even a 1v2, it's really important. If it's like a 1v1, then you don't really have to worry about it. But in anything else, you definitely want to go for high ground immediately right off the start. And one thing I did here, me and my teammate were down in the box, and I think it was like a 3-person team. And so one thing we did, I cut out probably like 20 seconds. We were sitting down there, and basically we sat down there because the other players, they went for high ground immediately until they found us, and then they jumped down. So the reason why we stayed down there instead of pushing up for height right when we heard them is because once they jump down, that gives a really good opportunity to go for high ground, because otherwise, if you think about it, since we already are on low ground and the first thing they do is go for high ground, what's going to happen is right off the start, they're already going to have that advantage and they're just going to keep building up. But if we're just camping down below, every single player on that team is just going to jump down. And once they jump down, that's when we edited out the side and went for high ground and had the advantage in that fight. A very, very smart play, and it worked out very well. And also for the beginning of the game, a really easy way to take out a lot of players is not just solely focus on using your weapons like your assault rifle, your shotgun. One thing that's very useful at the beginning that I feel like a lot of people don't consider are things like you have smoke grenades, you have boogie bombs, you have different items like that. Grenades are super OP at the beginning of the game because barely anyone has materials. So if you have really good placement, you can knock out a lot of players very, very quickly. So at the beginning of the game, those, I don't even know what you call them, like the special items, the items that I would throw in the 4th inventory slot, the smoke grenades, the actual grenades, the impulse grenades, because impulse grenades are really, really good, especially if you're going against, if like 3 people are going to rush you and you have to reposition. Can be very good as well, and you can easily go for high ground with the impulse grenade, because if you're on low ground, you have people above you can easily throw it down, get on high ground. So there's a lot of uses for that, especially at the beginning of the game. So that's what I would focus on when it comes to like if you're playing squads at the beginning of the game. I would highly recommend using those type of items, because that's definitely going to give you a huge advantage, because a lot of people really aren't using those as much as they should. So sometimes I'm guilty of this too. I usually find it in a chest and I'll just drop it because it's really not the best weapon to have. And that's definitely true for like the middle of the game. It can be very useful, but sometimes it's better off just to carry 2 heals. But at the beginning of the game, I'm telling you, it's super OP, and you get a lot of kills very easily by doing so. And as far as killing multiple players fast, back in the day, I would say probably a few seasons ago, I would recommend just playing off health, but I feel like now there's just so much shield in the game, just trying to get picks on their HP really isn't like the smartest way. And what I mean by that is like you get like 20 damage on them or so, and then you kind of just like keep chipping damage away from them from like a long distance, because like a lot of times they didn't have like a lot of extra shield, so if you chip damage from them, eventually they would be out of shield. But I feel like the best way when it comes to killing multiple players in this game is going to be learning how to play very fast. I think that's the #1 way you can kill people very fast in this game, and also very quickly, and just kill multiple players in the process. And with that being said, that's wrap up for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys liked it, make sure you guys do drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, turn on my post notifications so you guys are notified for every single new video. And alright guys, I'll see you next video.